If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, you guys joining us now to talk about this and so much more. We have the great Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary. Ari, where is this headed with Mamdani, talking about, a massive 9.5% property tax increase if he doesn't get the others from the state?
It's heading to the same place socialism always heads, which is the dustbin of history. It doesn't work. Socialism has never worked. You're seeing right now before your very eyes why it can't work, why it's not working in New York. And welcome to Socialism 101.
So where do you see this going, this sort of dance? And I brought up, Ari, you probably saw the headline, I think it was Wall Street Journal, where they said he is essentially holding New York State hostage. Yeah. So he keeps making these promises. And then the irony of it all, Ari, is he wants to add $1.2 billion for migrants. And then he's talking about cutting 5,000 NYPD officers.
Right. Well, I think Hochul, Mamdani's misplayed this. Hochul is stronger than she would look here. If I'm Hochul, I say, go ahead. I can't save you from yourself. And then he has to blink. He can't pursue this. I think his greatest way to proceed, if you want to look at it from his point of view, is you make the principal ideological liberal case why you need to raise taxes on the rich. And he goes to war with Hochul. He might win that because Democrats want to raise taxes on the rich. She might not be able to hold out. But him taking New York City hostage, she should just say, go ahead. I can't stop you.
The only thing is it is an election year. That's why, maybe she'll do the wink, wink until Election Day, no increase. And then the day after, surprise, surprise, right, Ari?
Well, he doesn't need her permission to raise property taxes on New York City voters.
He needs a city council.
He needs a city council.
Yeah.
And they've already said, yeah, but you know what's interesting? I heard one of the languages, you guys, from the city council. They were saying we would not allow that kind of an increase, but they didn't say no increase. If you listen to some of them, that concerns me.
See, that's why Hochul should make him govern. She should say, look, this is a New York City issue. I oppose this. I don't think this is the right thing to do. That's her political out. But then make him govern. He can't because he's a socialist. And that's where all of this is going to tumble down.
Well, someone who knows how to govern is the former governor here, David Patterson. Governor, go ahead.
Mr. Fleischer, I completely agree with everything you said. The only place where I might disagree slightly is if I were there and were her, I would challenge him because I don't think that he has the support of the electeds the way he might even have the support if it was an election. But I think right now, if Hochul stands up to him and lets him know she's not going to allow this to happen, it starts to become the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah, and by the way, I disagree with one thing you said. You called me Mr. Fleischer. My name is Ari.
A correction noted.
I don't know. Ari, it'll never happen again.
What do your parents call you, Ari?
Mr. Fleischer.
They're Democrats. You don't want to know what they used to call me.
Oh, boy, would we have loved to have sat in on one of your holidays. That would have been good, Ari.
But if I'm Hochul, I don't want to get into a civil war with Mamdani. She's not sure which way that's going to play. She is running for office, so she needs the base. I do think that the Democrats who want to raise income taxes on the rich, that's hard for her to stand up to. So she's got to proceed delicately. And the best way to proceed delicately is to say, you're the mayor. You've got to govern as you see fit. It's your decision. You work it out with the city council and take herself out of it.
But Ari, you don't think that when she takes that position, that Mamdani takes her up on it, and the big loser is her, because Bruce Blakeman is saying the governor's sitting here letting him run all over her.
I think people are going to blame it on Mamdani, not her. She's not the one doing it. she can be distant from it. Yeah, and Bruce can say that, and that's a smart thing to say. But people know this is Mamdani's idea.
All right, here's the wild card in it. There's a legislature that does want to raise taxes on the rich because they're scared of primaries, and they will go ahead and do that and pass it on to her. Then what does she do?
That's the pickle for her. And I suspect the legislature won't do that in the year she's up for re-election because they don't want to give Bruce the issue and they don't want to put her in that box. So I think she's safe for 1 year on that. Not that I'm taking her side, but that's how I see it.
It goes back to what I said. Guaranteed by November 4th, the election, there's not going to be any tax increases.
Yeah, don't you love how he leaves that?
November 5th, the day after the election, who knows?
Who knows?
That's probably a good take on it. But, the fundamental core issue here is, again, it goes back to socialism can never work. You can't get enough of other people's money to spend. You always need to find more. There's never enough. And this is why Mamdani is going to go down in history as a huge failure of a mayor because he made promises he cannot keep.
Agreed.
That's what socialists
Absolutely.
do.
Agree. And how about the fact, Ari, that in the middle of all this, the two things that have come up is more money for migrants and less money for cops. It's like you can't make it up. And then his priorities, as we were just talking about, he hired we call a Zaranista.
Zarina to enforce sanctuary law compliance of city officials. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. No, Rita, this is a great point. Why should Americans have to give benefits to people who came here illegally? We shouldn't. That's our taxpayer money. And the real answer is people who came here illegally shouldn't be here, so they shouldn't get these benefits. New York City, sanctuary city, they like to do these kinds of things. Let them suffer, pay the price, pay the burden. But this is where taxpayer revolts come in. This is how Republicans could one day take back New York City.
Yeah, by the way, before we let you go, Ari, to next week's State of the Union, just sort of your thoughts. There already been a couple Democrats who are saying they're not going to come. John and I have talked about Pelosi famously ripping it up.
This for all the American people listening out there, and it all started with President Trump giving the State of the Union or the State of the whatever
State of the Union speech,
right?
And Pelosi taking the speech and tearing it up. Nothing could be more insulting, more horrible than that.
And now they're planning alternative. Did you hear
Ari,
this?
were you there that day?
Yeah, were you there?
No, I wasn't in the chamber when that happened. I watched it. It was one of the most insulting moments you can imagine.
That was horrible. That's the way this whole thing started between Democrats and it really led to horrible relationships.
Yeah, it was so
that really
disrespectful.
Might have been the catalyst for all the trouble that the party's having with each other now.
Yeah, and Ari, what do you think? The fact that now they're already coming out, it's next week, and they're already saying, we're not going to go. There's a number of them, and they're planning like an alternative event. To John and the governor and everybody's point, it doesn't matter. This is America. He's talking about it's supposed to be the state of America. It should be apolitical. And I can't believe I'm getting so fired up because I'm thinking about the last time that very sweet young guy, DJ, remember, who was getting deputized. The poor guy had cancer. Kid had brain cancer, and the Democrats wouldn't stand up and applaud for him.
Right.
And then Lake and Riley, they talked about they had angel moms. They wouldn't applaud for them either. Have we gotten to such a divisive point you can't even applaud for a cancer kid?
Look, it doesn't really matter to me what the Democrats don't do. If they don't show up, who cares? What really matters to me is what President Trump does, what President Trump says, and there will be Democrats in that chamber. And so when that happens, they should stand. This should be a national unifying moment. It always was. When Barack Obama was president and Joe Biden was president, Republicans showed up, and they didn't treat those Democrats the way that these Democrats treat Donald Trump. But it's part of election denialism is really where this begins. They still deny that Donald Trump is a legitimate president of the United States. They can't abide by it. They can't stand the decision that the people made, and so they're willing to walk out on an American tradition. It's why the Democratic Party has such an abysmal rating. But the president's task is to rise above this noise, do his best to unify the country, being inspiring, being patriotic, talk about, without going too far and bragging, how good the economy is doing and how much better it will be for all Americans. That's his task. One final point. Don't overbrag. Don't tell people you hit a home run when you hit a double. People know the difference. He should not go in and say, this is the best economy we've ever had in the history of America. It's a good economy and has the potential to become a very strong economy. Don't tell people it's a home run if it's a double.
Excellent
Absolutely.
point.
Well said. Mr. Fleischer, Ari, whichever your parents call you, thank you very much.
Ari, thank you so much.
I've learned.
We love you, Ari. Thank you so much.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.